Good evening, everyone. This is the George here, and I'm joined by Jesus Gunn, although
Sugar,
that's not his
sugar,
real name.
yeah.
I'm
I'm
just
Jesus
joking around.
Gunn, everybody.
This is Caden, everyone. He's joining me tonight,
Hello.
and yeah, this is probably the last DC stream I'm going to be doing until an official slate is announced because I feel like we've
It's the
talked about
last one
this
of the
thing
year.
a lot. Yeah, last one of the year.
Guess
Yes,
what?
Jesus.
It's only 2 more days.
Yeah, but in all seriousness, I do want to wait until an official slate is announced by James Gunn. And hello,
Alright.
Sideways. So I hope everyone's doing well. I hope everyone had a Merry Christmas, and I hope everyone's getting ready for the year to end. And I know my year ended on a high note. I recently reached 100 subscribers. Actually, I got to
I'm gonna
101
quickly
today.
unsubscribe if I'm already subscribed.
What? Oh, don't do that. Well, one of my
Well,
coworkers
wait.
actually.
Hold up. I just realized.
What?
I. Nothing. Nothing at all.
Nothing at all. Okay.
Nothing at all.
Oh my goodness.
You just hit 103 subscribers, George.
Oh
How do you
yeah.
feel?
Oh my. Wait a minute. It says I'm at 102. Let's see. I'm gonna refresh this page. Oh,
103!
103. Oh
Woohoo!
wow. Wow. There we go. Yeah, because I saw
Only
one
two
one of my
more until you get 105.
yeah, I saw one of my coworkers actually subscribed to me. I'm gonna give him a shout out right now. Thank you, Mr. Will, if you're watching, because I saw you subscribed to me earlier today. But yeah, I hit the mark. It took over a year, and
Woo!
with the new year beginning means new goals. And a crazy new goal I'm gonna try to do for this year is I'm gonna try to go for 500 subscribers by the end of 2023. That seems like a lot, but I'm gonna add a bit of an incentive to it. If I can get to 500 subscribers before 2023 ends, I'll do a
He'll
stream
open an
showing.
OnlyFans.
No, no,
No.
no, no, no. I will show my entire DVD collection on a stream. I got a lot of DVDs, and if you're curious to see how many DVDs I have, please subscribe.
That sounds
That sounds so. But look,
like as if like DVDs is a code word for something.
no, I actually do have
Like
a ton of movies and shows. So if you want to see them, subscribe before the year ends. Before next year ends. Oh my goodness, such an incentive.
oh my god.
Oh my goodness. But in all seriousness, that is something
Yeah.
I'm gonna offer. But yeah, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. So let me get to the chat because I'm actually behind on the chat. So Donovan Martin, I do have faith in what Gunn will do, and we aren't far from the slate being revealed. Yeah, I'm gonna get to that. Don't worry. And yeah, also yeah, I'm hoping for a Super Bowl trailer as well. The Flash is supposedly gonna have one. Hey
Yeah.
Jay, hey Ferris, I'm doing great. Good to see you in the chat. It's been a while. Blue Jay, what does this mean? RJ eats paper. Like, I saw you did this on Max's stream last night, but you did it.
Well, yeah,
Gave him.
what do you mean?
I,
What do
I
you
I'm
mean?
I'm confused by this joke, to be honest. I really am.
Yeah, I don't know.
But but in all seriousness,
RJ eats paper. Good
before I
to
get
know.
to topic, I do want to thank everyone for subscribing to this channel, and I'm hoping we can do more content in the next year. And yes, the Super Bowl trailer is around the corner. But yeah, if we can get to 500 subscribers before 2023 ends, I'll gladly do a DVD reveal stream on this channel. And okay, thanks for explaining that, Blue Jay. So let me just remove this. Okay, so obviously, what the main topic is going to be about James Gunn in DCU. These are going to be our final thoughts on James Gunn, and we're also going to share what we like to see in the DC universe. So I think when it comes to James Gunn, a lot of videos have been made, a lot of opinions have been expressed. People are not happy with James Gunn, obviously due to the fact that major change is happening, and everyone knew major change was going to happen when James Gunn and Peter Safran were going to take over. They even acknowledged that not everyone was going to like the change. And that obviously includes Henry Cavill being recasted, Superman being played by someone else, other people getting recasted, probably the whole cast. It looks like the whole cast. And look, I get it. It's frustrating to see that the versions of these characters coming to an end without some kind of conclusion and closure. But at the same time, you got to think what's best for the brand. And maybe starting something new instead of half assing it like the previous regime was doing is probably for the best. Remember, DC and Warner Brothers sat on Batman and Superman in the DCEU for the last 5 years. They gave headless cameos and mentions. We never saw them. So before you get annoyed at James Gunn for doing what he's doing, let's be annoyed at the people that sat on our favorite characters and did nothing with them for some time. Yeah, this is me preaching. I mean, we have Jesus Gunn right next to us, so yeah, we're gonna be preaching. But basically basically treating James Gunn unfairly, threatening boycotts, taking shots at his wife. Some of the things I've been seeing on Twitter, on YouTube, it's doing nothing. It's doing nothing for the brand.
I mean, it's only showing that a lot of people are entitled and expect everything to be given to them that they want.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, like, I know, like, a lot of people, like, hate this analogy or hate this, like, way of saying it, but it's just, like, the group that are, like, complaining about it is majority of them are people who put the hashtag release the Snyder Cut and got it, and now are expecting the studio to listen to every single thing they say. Like, and what didn't help is when you had The Rock say, "We're listening to the fans," you know. So that
Yeah.
that was didn't help much.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not happy about it as well. I would have loved to have seen Henry Cavill get one more Superman movie, love to see a proper conclusion. But at the same time, I can't blame James Gunn for mistakes that were made before. The
Right.
mishandling of characters, them sitting on characters and contracts for so long. Like that's a mistake that the people that came before James Gunn made. And to be honest, we don't really know what the early thought processes of Gunn and Saffron were. Maybe they were planning on having these characters continue, but they just couldn't find the best route.
Yeah.
Like, like that could have been a possibility. Do you think so, Caden?
Um. Wait. Say that again.
Do you think maybe they were trying to find a way to incorporate these versions of the characters, but just couldn't find the proper story or something that they loved?
Yeah, I think that might. I think that's majority of reason why they were like, we need one. Well, they need to move on because it's like Ben Affleck, who's already like so and returning, who's like, do I really want to return? And then you have, um, you know, Henry Cavill, who's been wanting to return for a while, who's been waiting to, and people been wanting to have him come back, but at the same time, it's like, but like people kind of have moved on at the same time from, you know, from him. So
Yeah.
it's like, okay, like how are you going to do this? And you're already going to kind of reboot the universe with the Flash movie. So it's like, what else can you do with this? So it's like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
That's
And
that
hey
you
Daniel
think is good.
Martin. And Alien Superstar. To be fair, like yeah, we don't really know anything, but I feel like then you're making the same mistake that Hamada was making or was about to make, where like you were kind of like resetting everything, but only keeping certain people.
Right.
I don't know, Kane. Can you see him bringing anyone back from like the original DCEU?
Um, Honestly, yes, and I think he'll bring Cena back. I think he'll bring them back, but I don't think some of them won't be playing the same characters they were last. You know,
Uh,
I think with Cena, he might be continue playing Peacemaker. Um, um, Margot Robbie, Harley Quinn, but like Jason Momoa, um, like that will probably be changing to something else. Um, like Lobo. That's of course, like what everyone's kind of thinking.
yeah.
So
And Ferris Geek World. Yeah, I did watch a little bit of Ambassador stream yesterday, but I didn't see the part where you came on. Yeah, like it is frustrating when Warner Brothers keeps recasting people, especially for their mistakes, because this isn't just like about like I know a lot of people like yes, Snyder could have maybe done things better himself, but to be fair, they rushed stuff. They rushed the 2017 film to come out, and he's not the only
yeah,
director that should get
I mean this.
criticism.
I mean, yeah, like the thing is with um like what's interesting about the whole Snyder BVS situation is that like um they told you know Snyder to input Batman into it, but at the same time I feel like they weren't meeting it the way that he did it.
Yeah,
Um, so um, again, I think there was a lot of things going on that weren't meant to happen.
yeah.
Um, so yeah,
Ferris, I'm gonna see like if anyone else is gonna come on. If no one else comes on, like later in the stream, maybe. But yeah, no, like Daniel Martin, I do know like there were yeah people were nasty towards Snyder. Like I feel like DC fandom is very divided. To be fair,
yeah, it
and
is.
like my opinion of Zack Snyder has always been I think his critics underrate him, but I think his fans also overrate him. Like I'm a
Yeah,
fan of Zack Snyder, not just of his DC work. I love Dawn of the Dead and 300. Which, by the way, that James Gunn wrote the screenplay for Dawn of the Dead, which is one of the best horror remakes ever made.
right.
And like, I think he knows a good tone. I can't blame The Rock for hyping up his own movie, especially because like they marketed the heck out of that film and it still didn't do well. And I know what you mean, Daniel Martin. And oh boy, in the chat, Mr. Nick, hey. But if you love these characters and have actors who want to play the role Cavill, how do you not make sure you make it happen? Well, first of all, for you who don't know Caden, this is Mr. Nick. He is my supervisor. and
Hello.
and second of all, um, when it comes to a situation like this, sometimes you try to find, as I said before, sometimes you're trying to find the best story with these versions of the characters, but you can't find a story that's going to work and what's best, especially for the brand. Like, for example, and I know Andrew Casali's in the chat, so like and so when I bring this up, please don't get upset about it. When Spider-Man 4 got canceled, it was because Sam Raimi wanted to make the best Spider-Man movie possible, and he just didn't like the scripts. He didn't
Right.
like what he was getting. And so ultimately they canceled it. And there could be a similar situation where that could have happened here.
Hmm.
And sometimes that happens. Sometimes that happens where, and it happened to Andrew Garfield as well, where he loved playing the character, but unfortunately, that like things just didn't work out.
Yeah.
And I don't think that, and I think like when they mention Elseworlds, I think they're possibly leaving the door open to maybe one day return to this verse, or maybe like not close the door entirely. But it's obvious that their main focus is going to be on a new universe.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with James Gunn's like other properties. Like I don't know what's going to happen with those, to be honest.
Yeah. Um, Again, I think patience until January will tell us what exactly they're doing. Um, because I think, we're always like in a rush to find out what's next, what's next, what's next. But the thing is it takes time. You need to plan these things to plan the whole slate, two, to plan an event to release and announce these things, and then to also like make sure that everything is set and ready to go, because you don't want to announce something like prematurely, because we've seen things be announced prematurely that weren't meant to happen.
Yeah, they definitely did that. And also to get back to this, the problem was after the 2017 Justice League film, with the exception of Aquaman, the other DCEU movies that came out weren't huge box office successes. Like Shazam did make a profit, but it had a small budget. Like the two other high grossing DC movies that came out post Justice League were the Batman and Joker, which are outside the DCEU. So I think audience trust was very shaken with the DCEU after all that stuff that happened.
Right. Yeah.
And even with the mention of Henry Cavill coming back in Black Adam, that still wasn't enough to get people to go see Black Adam. And I know people are going to
Yeah.
bring up Wakanda Forever.
But
It
yeah,
had
I
three
think
weekend.
yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Caden. You can say
That's what
what
I
you
was
want to say.
mentioning, that like that was one thing that was announced prematurely, like Henry Cavill's return. Like there wasn't anything signed, and they still announced it as if it's like if it was as it was if it as if it was. So it's like okay, that's why you need to make sure that everything is crossed and dotted when you know announce something. You can't just be like, oh yeah,
Better be
George
on
is
your
the
P's.
Joker in the new Batman movie, but George hasn't signed a contract yet. Like
Yeah.
next thing you know, Max becomes the Joker in the Batman movie, but we just announced George's. Well, no, Max is really the Joker in the Batman movie. It's like, oh, okay, like so.
Damn, Martin, better be on your P's and Q's, George. LOL. um, but Daniel Martin. Yeah, he brings up a good point. I get it's hard. It's hard to trust. But here's the thing. And look, I've not been the biggest fan of David Zaslav so far. I've had my criticisms of
Yeah,
Zaslav, but between him coming in and James Gunn coming in, understanding this genre, I do have trust in them. I mean, James Gunn to me is 5 for 5 on comic book stuff. I don't know how you feel, Caden. Have you liked all his Guardians of the Galaxy stuff, the Suicide Squad, Peacemaker?
yeah, yeah. He's 5 for 5.
And
Like,
it looks like he's gonna be 6 for 6. But go on.
yeah, yeah. I think again, like I said on Eddie's stream earlier, like, a couple years ago, we were hearing the story, or last year, we were hearing the stories of Toby Emmerich, or one of them, the old people trying to whisper in his ear to tell Gunn to direct and write the Superman movie, you know, and they're like no, and now Gunn was like, I don't trust myself, or I'm not there yet. I'm not ready to write an A-list story yet, and now he challenged himself to do so, to write an A-list story. And honestly, like people have been saying, oh, he might have the reverse effect on A-listers and turn them to D and C and Z listers. No, he only uplifts the characters that he writes about, you know.
Yeah,
Um, and so he might turn a B list character into an A list character, and A list to an S tier, you know, or whatever, and beyond and on and on. Um, so he's challenged himself, and I think what makes a great screenwriter and makes story is when you challenge yourself.
yeah.
So like he's challenged himself to write a story, and that story be good, maybe great, maybe okay, but I don't see it being bad or awful, you know. Um, so yeah.
Oh, I agree. I agree. And Andrew Casale does bring up a good point right here. Ever since Nolan's Batman, Warner Brother has tried to. Yeah, I feel like Man of Steel did feel very Nolan esque at times.
Well, the thing is I know people will completely disagree and be like gasp and moan and everything, but honestly, I think Nolan is the root of the DC's problems that we have today. You know, because of this whole realistic stuff and this whole like trying to make everything real. You know, because it's like you did this like one movie out of the three that were like great, and the other two that were just like whatever, and very real. And then you set this bar for DC movies, and then you handed him basically DC to hand to another person, you know, and which, you know, that person was also a realistic person. So it's like you're just handing, you know, this person the you're handing the keys to DC to another realistic filmmaker to another. You know, finally they handed the keys to someone who goes more into the fantastical and mystical and wacky stuff, you know, which comic book movies should be. They should be fantastical and mystical and wacky, you know. Um, so I'm at
Yeah,
like that's just yeah. So
yeah, no, I get it. Look, I love the Dark Knight trilogy. The Dark Knight's probably my favorite comic book movie of all time. But I hope, hopefully, with this like new Gun DC universe, they do embrace some of the more comic book stuff. And I'll probably get into that when I talk about things I want to see in the DC universe, particularly with Batman. And to be fair, Ferris, I don't know like if Gunn wants to keep Gal and Zachary Levi. Like I think Zachary Levi, I think he's hopeful that he's gonna stay on, but I honestly don't know, and I don't know the fate of Gal Gadot either. Do you think any of them are safe, Caden?
um, I don't I don't think anyone's safe, but I also think that no one like it's one of those tricky things. It's like um because Gunn is in a tricky position where he has to choose to do full on reboot and or reboot with cherry picking or soft reboot with some of them gone, like the major players gone while everyone else stays, you know. Um like that type of, like, you know, and or just have like one or two people be recast and everyone else stay the same. Like, you know, it's like what will you do? You know, it's the same thing with the whole Netflix thing over at Marvel. It's like they have to pick and choose. They're picking and choosing, but I wonder what that conversation was like. You know, like when they were deciding the factors of like how to continue with those characters at Netflix and how to incorporate them into the MCU. It's the same thing here. It's like, do we keep Gal as Wonder Woman? Do we keep Zachary Levi as Shazam? Do we keep Momoa as Aquaman, or do we, you know, give these people an opportunity to stick around, but as different characters, you know,
Oh yeah.
and or do we just feel like, sorry, we're moving on. Um, you can come back at a later time, you know, um, when we and if you are ever like free, you know, you can always you always have a spot in DC, whatever that, you know, that type of whole thing.
especially because they did say they want to do Elseworld stories, and maybe
Yeah,
you can make this current DCEU an Elseworld story.
yeah. And also the thing is that I think um, that we also have to remember like these characters and who they are and why they are. Shazam is like it would be different if we weren't starting with a new super like with a Superman who's been Superman for 2 years or whatever. You know, if we were starting with a Superman who's been Superman for like 6 years, then yeah, you can keep Zachary Levi's Shazam. You know, because you're not going to wait 3 years when Zachary Levi's 50. You know, doing Shazam again. You know, you wouldn't like you can do that, but it's like you. I think you would want the Shazam actor to be at the latest in his late 40s and early and late 30s. You know, you don't want them to be like 60. You know, doing Shazam.
Oh
Um,
yeah, absolutely. And
and
yeah, with
because so you want someone, you know, hey, if they keep Zachary Levi as Shazam and recast Billy, then cool, you know. Um, but yeah, it's up to Gunn really, and it's a tough position. And I think that's another thing that people forget. This is a very tough position because DC is at a tough position itself.
eh, yeah, well, Warner Brothers in general, because Daniel Martin brought up a good point. They are far in depth, and again, this isn't just like the movies. They want to connect like TV shows, video games, and apparently comic books. Like they're going big on this.
Yeah,
So let's see. Yeah, like and I'll get to that later because I do agree with this on when it comes to Batman. And Alien Superstar puts if he wasn't getting rid of everyone, I feel like Gal, Jason, Margaret, Cena, and others would have put out statements like Henry and The Rock did.
right.
I mean, yeah, that this is it's a confusing situation, but I feel like we're probably gonna get clarity sometime in
Yeah,
January. Like, do you think it's gonna be
I
early
think
January or the end
yeah,
of
I
like
think
January?
I think honestly, I think a lot of like I think with you want to like I don't think you will come right out of the new year with this. I think you'll wait a week and then do like I think what James would probably do is like announce a day that he'll announce something like an eye emoji with the DC logo like 1-17. It's like okay, that's the day that he'll announce the DC slate, and then as we lead up to the DC slate, you probably have like trades reporting on you know one or two things up until then, like be like something small DC stories that won't be as shocking, but will be able to be appetizers to that date, you know, um, because I think you definitely want to like kind of tease it to keep both like people already have anticipating this, but you want to be able to for our people to know the day, and not just wake up one day and like the whole slate is announced and you're like, oh, missed all of that hype like around it. It's like random out of nowhere. So you definitely want to like kind of like have appetizers and tease it up and building up to that day. Um,
Especially because like DC needs it.
yeah,
Like they need
DC
some
does.
like and we were kind of like saying this on Eddie's stream before. Like DC fans are impatient.
Yeah,
You don't want to you want to get it done quickly, but you don't want to rush it at the same time.
right. Yeah,
So like I can't really blame them for wanting to Gun and Saffron to start throwing appetizers. That's why you see all these teases and this transparency.
right.
And
Yeah, because I think honestly, like once the DC slate is announced, on to be completely honest, I think that transparency, like the constant transparency, might uh, like go down a bit. You know, like he won't be answering every single question, like or like he'll probably like answer one question out of like 10 tweets, whatever, that he posts and be like, oh, there's one question I can answer, and let everyone else, let people wait until then. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if, because also I think there will to be, like I think one or two of the movies that he'll announce in this upcoming weeks, um, will have a full, like, not full cast, but at least one or two cast members and a director and writer, because you don't want to announce it and be like, and not have anyone, like, be attached. So no one's really,
Yeah.
because you can get excited for a director and writer, but you also like to get excited about the actor, be like, oh snap, like, um, let's say Pedro Pascal's playing Bruce Wayne now, like, oh my god, that's super cool. Like, you can already kind of like see where, whatever. Or like it's like, oh, Asher Angel's playing Superman. Oh, that's cool. Like, whatever. Um, so it's that type of thing where it's I'm like, uh, that's what I'm not like 100% anticipating that, but I'm kind of like, that'll be a smart move, to announce
And
at least
thanks,
one or
Daniel
two.
Martin. You're
Oh yeah.
taking after Isaac right now, Daniel.
I
And
mean,
thanks
New York
for this.
only exists in comics. So that's why. Like the
Oh,
first New York
oh my,
appearance is Spider-Man.
oh
Like,
my goodness. Yeah. Uh, anyone from work that's watching this, this is what I deal with at night. Not from Caden, but mostly from Isaac.
Isaac, yeah, especially.
Isaac started this whole thing. And thanks again, Daniel Martin. And I'm gonna give a shout out to Daniel Martin because he's been one of my longest subscribers, like from when I started like YouTube before I was collaborating with other YouTubers. So shout out to Daniel Martin for always being there. Um, Great fan, one of my favorite people. And I do want to get to this because this actually comes to like my problem with DC fans right now. That they went insane and they wanted him fired and calling him. I'm not going to say the word, but obviously calling him that.
Yeah. Um, it's honestly very tiring to see that. I'm honestly like done with all that. Like, I'm done seeing that, and I'm like the next person that I see do that, blocking them. Like, that's honestly what, like, the route I'm gonna go now. Be like, block. You know.
It, it, it's an immature tactic. It's like listen, he made a dumb tweet over 10 years ago. He's owned up to it. He got fired for it. And you know what? He accepted getting fired with grace.
Right.
He didn't whine about it. Like remember, Roseanne Barr like basically had pitchforks and torches when she got fired by
Oh yeah.
uh, yeah, when she got fired off Roseanne
Oh,
for
and
her
Gina
dumb.
Carano.
Oh yeah, Gina Carano as well. But you know what?
Like,
Disney eventually rehired him back.
right. Because the thing is that, like, um, again, I think people forget that Hollywood loves James Gunn. Like, they love him. We see it every time whenever he posts something about DC or about Marvel or about whatever he's doing. Like, if it's like a news about him, like if you go to his post, like the top 25 comments are like people, actors and actresses and directors and producers who are like congratulating him or like applause, like, like, because people love him. Um,
Yeah,
and the
and,
same
and
thing with
Andrew, hold on, before you continue, Andrew, I haven't forgotten about you. You're always on. You've been in the chat in all my streams, so I also appreciate your support as well. You've been another person that's been supporting this channel for a long time, so shout out to you as well. But continue, Caden.
so yeah, that's um yeah. So that was uh yeah, I don't like that.
It just reminds me of another fandom that like was doing these stupid tactics since the Last Jedi came out. The Phantom Menace.
Yeah, I
It,
think
it
I think the fandom in this were a bit tamer than the Snyder people against Ryan Johnson and Kathleen Kennedy because they weren't calling them names of things that they you know couldn't take back. Like some of them were, yeah, but they weren't like going this hard. You know, they weren't
um,
they weren't calling Ryan Johnson the P word or Kathleen Kennedy the P word or anything beyond that. Um, I think even though yeah they were bad and yeah it's just like to see like it's just internet fandom is terrible, honestly.
and like I remember like
Extreme internet fandom.
back in 2018 when I was like younger, bit dumb and stupid. Like I used to watch those Phantom Menace channels. I used to watch Geeks and Gamers and some of those channels. But then like when I kind of saw what they were really doing, like it went from going against the direction of Star Wars to becoming like a culture war nonsense thing. Like when Captain Marvel came out, I dipped. I was like, I ain't dealing with this.
Right.
But it's like even and like I used to see some of these people go really hard in the Phantom Menace, like Yellow Flash, Doomcock, like some of these clowns, and it's like some of these Snyder fans, and it's not all of them because I'm a Snyder fan myself, but like some of the ones that take this stuff really, really seriously, that call Gunn the P word and all this other stuff, it's really a bit scary.
Yeah.
And thanks again, Daniel Martin. Um, Yeah, I'm gonna miss him doing Marvel projects as well. But you know what? He's got one more Marvel project that's coming out,
Yeah. One more, and then we'll see what's you know after that.
and Daniel asked the question: who would you guys credit more with the success of the MCU, the Russos or Gunn? I think the Russos leveled up with Winter Soldier and capped off the Infinity Saga, handling all these characters. Kaden, do you want to answer this question first?
Um, I think um, I honestly don't know like who like out of those two. Like, yeah, I think definitely the Russos, like, because they're the ones that, of course, made um like
Who?
you
What in the world?
Hello, guys. This is I, James Gunn, the ruler of DC. How you doing?
Hey, James Gunn.
I just say that
Thomas
no, there
Gunn.
will not. Yes,
It's Thomas Gunn.
yes.
Oh, I'm Jesus Gunn.
I am the gun. That's me. What's up?
Oh, hey, Senor.
Yeah, what's up? Okay. I
Nerd.
was gonna do this joke all day. Fuck it. No.
Okay. So, anyways,
So what are we
but before,
talking about?
so we were answering Daniel Martin's question: who do you credit more success, the Russos or Gunn?
Russos. I think. I think as soon as they got into these to Marvel, it really took off a notch. I think they went on to direct two of the biggest Marvel movies uh they ever. Well, three count Civil War, and Endgame became like I forgot about this. Endgame is the first movie that make $1 billion in its first 4 days on release. So that's crazy, and it was the highest grossing movie until James Cameron re-released Avatar and then took it over. So, of course, um, so I was a, I mean, Gunn put more life into DC with the Guardians movies, and it really helped his career. In terms of like the full success, that's why people was like, "Oh, the Russos should come back for Secret Wars." I think he might, but I don't know. Maybe they might look somewhere else. But I'll go with the Russo brothers. So what they did with like Captain America, Winter Soldier, it was like when they were hired, it was like, who are these guys? They're TV guys who already done one movie, which is Yumi Dupree. Y'all see that movie with
Mm,
yeah, well, I forgot what was it? Uh, Luke Wilson, the Owen Wilson, sorry, and someone else. I forgot. And it was a flop. And then this was their and Winter Soldier was their second movie. I was like, oh, how you went from Joe Johnston to these guys?
yeah.
And Winter Soldier was just fantastic. And then Civil War was, to me, was like top tier. It's top tier Marvel movie. And then they got better with Infinity War and Endgame. Um, yeah, I think I'll go. I give credit to Russo brothers over Gunn. To me,
I, I'll say I think both of them have been key to the success of the MCU and establishing characters. I'll say because the Russos directed not just more movies, but I think more important movies and brought in that darker tone that the MCU kind of started to need. I'm gonna go with the
yes,
Russos.
I think you could Blake Gunn for more like he, not Blake, but like he. Oh yes,
Oh, Blue Jay, this casting that Blue Jays got, this is gonna rile people up if this happened.
yes. It was pretty.
Andrew Blue
Oswald,
Jay likes to joke. Don't take him too seriously.
yeah. Not Nick
No,
Cage. Nah,
but
not
how
not
did you
Nick Cage. Not
know,
Nick Cage.
Blue
Just
Jay? How
how
did
you
Blue Jay
know?
know the new gun plans?
Josh
Yeah.
Brolin. Josh Brolin back at Jonah Hex. Fuck yes.
Oh, let's also language a little bit, okay?
Oh,
Let's watch the
sorry.
language. Okay. Yeah, no, it's all good. But the Geekosity scoop. Oh yeah, we don't drop Geekosity scoops here.
Guys, they said it. I know stuff. I know stuff. So this is what happened. Yeah.
It's like, but it's I don't know. Like, are like are James Gunn fans maybe like hoping for too much, or like are we, or like are they just like are they doing the right thing by waiting for the approach and being fair minded? Like, are they being delusional, like certain people are accusing them of being?
I don't see any person saying that James Gunn will deliver the best thing ever. Honestly, I don't like. I also don't see people like. But the thing is, you do see people saying James Gunn will ruin the DC. And you guys are overhyping. No one's overhyping Gunn. At least I don't see anyone. You know,
Yeah.
like we all know what Gunn's full of, and we're just you know using what's in front of our eyes and saying, you know,
Yeah, have Josh Brolin come back as Jonah Hex. Senator, do you think that James Gunn's being overhyped, or
I
no?
think there's excitement for sure. I think people want the best for DC. Um, I'm very what's the word? Cautiously optimistic. Yeah, I'm very cautious about. I don't like. Oh my god, this would be the best thing ever. We don't know what his Superman will be. We don't know the slate. I'm still racking my brains. Like, what could be the slate? What could be? Wait, Jay.
What up, Blue Jay?
The next Superman film will be called Man of Steel: The Quest for Peace.
Well, hold
Man,
on,
still,
Andrew Casale's got a good casting choice. Let's make Superman Dean Kane again.
Yes, let's make Superman a radical right winger. Fantastic.
Oh, Marlon.
He will fight against Antifa and yeah.
Marlon Wayans as Robin. Ooh, that's box office gold.
Oh my goodness. But
Marlon Wayans.
Definitely.
but Blue Jay, the question that we have, like, RJ, like, as our masked friend Max had on stream yesterday, that thinks James Gunn fans are delusional. Are James Gunn fans being delusional? Like,
I just think his anger is making him delusional.
Well, the thing is,
by the way, just a heads up. This is not a shot at anyone. I love Max. I'm grateful that
Max too.
to be working with him, but to and this is more so a problem that anti-gun fans or people critical or gun are having a problem with. It's, I think, like saying DC is doom and gloom.
It's just like it's the announcement that just startled people. Like we're coming into January. We're gonna get the slate regardless. And then watch. The slate comes out, people be like, oh my, oh shit, I dropped my pen. Oh my fucking
drop.
oh my god, we got new movies coming out, new content, new all that stuff. James Gunn's gonna knock it out of the park. I'm like, it's like, watch, people are gonna be worried, and then watch when the slate comes in, we get more news about it. People are just gonna forget about it. Like it's how the internet works.
Okay, here's about Daniel Martin's saying, I think people are fearful of Gunn's comic tone mixed with a traditional, more serious DC tone. DC's never been serious. It's always been light. It's always been more fun and optimistic.
Well, I think what Daniel's getting at is, like, the way that the films have been structured so far. Like, and we're not just talking about and it's not just like the DCEU, the Christopher Nolan Dark Knight trilogy.
Of
Like,
course,
I get where
Batman's serious. Batman's supposed to be dark and serious.
Yeah, but I get what he's getting at. But here's the thing to remember is that, and this is what I think a lot of people forget. James Gunn wrote the screenplay for Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead, and he did a very good job of balancing out the tones. Like, Dawn of the Dead's a really good horror remake. You know how hard that is to make in modern day,
especially a classic.
I don't care if that film is 18 years old. Post 2000, horror remakes suck most of the time.
Yes.
And both Zack Snyder and James Gunn put together a very good horror remake that I actually enjoy rewatching more so than the original at times.
But there's the thing. People have never have really seen that film. They just think of James Gunn as far as I'm concerned, he's the funny man. He did Guardians, he did the Suicide Squad. They're comedic. Even though they're
But the thing is that I think people like say comedic, but then like downplay the dramatic and emotional stuff that Gunn does.
Wait till Guardians 3 comes out. Everybody will change their mind.
Guardians 2 was dramatic and emotional as hell with Yondu.
Well, Guardians 1, the beginning with Star-Lord's bomb. My goodness.
Right.
That come on. And then after that it goes, come and get your love. But still it was like the beginning where, like, I thought this movie's supposed to be funny. Why I'm crying? This mom is dying, and then went straight to the funny. But it was like, and Gunn does that even before when he was in the MCU. He did Slither and Super.
Even the Belko experiment. He wrote that film. The Belko experiment.
I never seen Belko experiment, but
I've seen it. It's just people snapping the movie.
Super. People think is like kind of like him trying to ripping off was it Kick-Ass. Because say things about this guy dressing up, trying to be a superhero, and he's getting his butt kicked. But it could get dark. I don't know if anyone saw Super. You know the with Ring Wilson.
I heard of Super. I just never seen it.
There is a scene. I'm not gonna spoil it because you need to see it. It's fantastic. It's because the main villain was Kevin Bacon, and he's no well Eli he was a scary villain, Kevin Bacon, and his thing he's a drug dealer, and Rainn Wilson's girlfriend is Liv Tyler. She's a drug addict, and she start hooking up with Kevin Bacon, drug dealer, for some drugs, and it turns him crazy. And that's why he became the superhero. This guy dressed up like just like in like um, pads and helmet and with a wrench. So, but there's a scene in the end where he finally got it to confront Kevin Bacon's character, the villain, and it's really messed up. And it's just
And
I,
Ferris brings up a good point. He thinks Gunn's going to use the DCAU blueprint. He's basically that's been like they've said that like Young Justice and the DCAU have been used as inspiration.
I'm down for that because those shows are
which
amazing.
the shows are great,
Yeah.
and they balance again. They balance seriousness and the funness. You got like stuff like the like you got like serious stuff like with Batman and was the girl in the swing. If you see that clip,
Hmm. I think I know
you
what you're
see
talking about.
the girl.
Um
You
um
know, yeah, the girl in the swing was dying because
Ace, you're talking about like
yes,
the Justice that was also the Batman Beyond finale in Justice League. Yeah, no, that was that's pure Batman.
yeah, that's pure Batman, but that was like in Justice League Unlimited. It was like a show with
Yeah.
like all these superheroes, and it's like Batman holding a girl's hand who's dying. But then you got like something with when Lex Luthor and the Flash switch minds. Lex Luthor is in the body of Flash. Like, okay, let's see who I am. He took off the mask and he's looking in the mirror. He took off Flash's mask. And he's go, I have no idea who I am.
Yeah.
It's
And this
like
is another good point from Ferris. Brightburn, another thing that
Brightburn was.
Gunn was
I haven't seen
producing.
Brightburn, but I heard it was good.
I heard it was good, but also really dark. So
yes,
I that's why I'm not worried about James Gunn because he's also done dark stuff. And if you look at his Guardians of the Galaxy movies, and by the way, I don't know if he's still watching. My supervisor is a big fan of the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. Um, like if you watch the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, like yeah, they got a lot of humor, but they also got some really deep emotional moments
Exactly.
and touch upon some really deep emotional stuff.
yeah,
Like Nebula, for example, like basically we learned in Guardians, not Infinity War, in Guardians that like Thanos basically like tore this poor alien apart.
right. And you
So
see that,
like
yeah, and we see that. Well, okay, so I was going to say that we see that in Infinity War about Thanos and what Thanos did to Gamora's planet and how he adopted her. But that was like I have to remember if I can remember correctly, Gunn wrote all the Guardian scene in Endgame and Infinity War. Am I correct?
He was a consultant. Yes,
yeah,
Yeah,
he
he was a
he consulted on them basically like approve because the same thing with Taika with Thor, like
uh,
everything was like had to be like approved slash consulted by the people that like were taking on the characters or had done the character's previous story.
uh, but I remember. Okay, so I was at theater seeing the first Guardians, and it's when they were in nowhere and Rocket was drunk. He was gambling and he was mad. Someone called him a raccoon, and he's just like he got the gun. He's like, you don't know what it's like, what they did to me, what they done to me. And He was like getting emotional, and I know the audience was going, oh, or like very like touch, like heartbroken. Here, Rocket in his drunken rant about what they did to him. And we
Make you
make and
feel
we,
for they make you feel for a raccoon.
like yeah, make you feel
Yeah.
like a raccoon who's drunk and and we're gonna get like more of that backstory in Guardians 3, which is gonna be like really tough to watch. Like
Oh
what
yeah.
the was it the high creator? What is it called? The
I
villain.
think his name was the High Evolution.
The high
Whatever it
evolution
is,
the
very
high evolu-
complicated name it is.
the high evolution who's create rocket. It looks like he's like done some ungodly experiment on little people.
Um, this is actually a good way to transition to the next part of this topic, which is what we want to see in the next DC universe. So Daniel Martin asks, like, do you guys think? Well, it's actually David F. Sandberg would be a good fit for Teen Titans. So, what would you guys like to see in the new DC universe? Like, what did the DCEU? What? Okay, I'm trying. Okay, the way I'm going to word this. What do you want to see in this new DC universe that the DCEU couldn't do right or didn't do?
The
Obviously, one of
Condiment
them.
King.
Wait,
What?
what?
The Condiment King
Okay, yes.
from Batman the
Abs-
Animated Series.
Oh my
Absolutely.
goodness.
Uh,
uh,
okay, to me, the importance of Superman. They need to
yeah,
make Superman important. I was like, much of Henry Cavill, and much um that I am sad to go, but I feel like his time was up. I feel like even with that cameo, I feel like it wasn't enough for him to stay. Um, like I was ready to him to go, but they really did. Like, okay, yeah, they try to make it Superman important by having him die in his second movie and have all the world mourn him. I think that was. I think they didn't do enough to make that death impactful. You know,
True.
yeah. It feels they could wait a while to do Death of Superman, do Superman Doomsday. So I feel like they should just really build up that how important Superman is to the entire world before do something impactful like Doomsday. That's what I think. I think that's like the high and even uh, David Zaslav says that Superman is important for the DC movies.
That's
And
true.
had
And then he'll
he
be
had
played by Nicolas Cage.
yes, or Dean Cain.
um,
All right.
Ka-
Oh,
Caden, if you're still there, what would you like to see done in this new DC universe? What could they fix
I
that they couldn't do in the
oh,
DCEU?
have a lot of things, but mainly to, of course, see him have. He's already done it. Is having a plan, you know, like so. It's like um, so having a plan for DC and executing the plan is, you know, what I have like want from DC, and they got one part already down. It's just the other part, you know. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Blue Jay.
um, you know, in all seriousness, let's see, character wise, Green Lantern.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Which
I
one?
want just to do.
That
Don't
was a
matter to
problem I
me. I
had
love Green Lantern.
because that's a
Doesn't
problem
matter.
I had with the old regime. Like, and you can continue before I get to my point.
Oh, okay, yeah. It's just don't matter to me which Green Lantern it is. I mean, I would like Green Lantern. Um, what other characters I can think of top of my head? Robin, boy Robin.
Yes.
At least characters we haven't seen in a while on the big screen, like Green Lantern, Robin, um, Steel.
See, that's what I like. I think Gunn should they he should make the importance of sidekick and wards in his DCU. They should make important about why Robin and Speedy and Wonder Girl and Aqualad are pretty much important characters, not just cute sidekicks for the kids. They need to establish what why Robin needs to be with Batman. You know,
Yeah. And hey, Ambassador, and Yeah, that to be fair, I think the Batman universe might be doing the stuff on the Rogue Gallery. Mr. Freeze, that's someone I would definitely like to see in either franchise because I think he's long overdue. And
Right.
I do want to get to that about what I want to see in the DC universe. But before I do that, does anyone think like that Matt Reeves Batman universe is going to focus on Batman's Rogue Gallery?
I mean, yeah, when the DC article that came out before Gunn was and Saffron were announced as DC heads, they saw Clayface, Scarecrow, and someone else.
I would like to see. I think with the Batman, I think they might differentiate enough because the Batman is very grounded, like grounded than Dark Knight, debatably.
Yes.
I
Yes.
think they might just go with like, okay, Mr. Freeze, kind of. Who else is a more super grounded kind of character? So there's Hugo Strange,
Victor
Hugo
Yeah.
Zsasz.
Strange,
Oh yeah,
Victor
Victor
Zsasz.
Zaz.
Zsasz,
I
Black
mean,
Mask.
there's like golden age Clayface where he's just a guy wearing different mask. If I remember
Sure,
correctly. Like
that is true. But
yeah,
but
so
I will
that could be
say
a monster.
for the DC universe, I would like it when they tackle the Batman stuff to do the more fictional, less realistic villains like Man Bat, Killer Croc, Poison Ivy, Clayface. Maybe the more classic take on Mr. Freeze, Bane, and Ra's al Ghul. Like actually have Ra's al Ghul that's actually immortal, that has the Lazarus Pit. A Bane that actually has that Venom serum.
And you know
Because I
what?
know
Yeah.
You know,
because I know Nolan did the more realistic takes on those villains, but I want to see the more comic book fictional takes on those characters.
yes. Can we have a Joker with the doesn't have a scar face? Goodness, please,
Uh,
just the regular like a Joker, like the Mark Hamilton Joker
all right,
from
this
the
is where
cartoon anime
this is where I'm
series.
gonna I'm gonna agree with
Yes,
Andrew
Jack
Casale,
Nicholson.
but maybe not have like a Joker that looks kind of more similar to the classic look like Jack Nicholson's Joker.
Oh
But don't
yes,
get me
that's
wrong, Heath Ledger was phenomenal. I love his
he was
performance
great.
as Joker, but I feel like the last two attempts at Joker, and I'm not going to judge the Matt Reeves version of Joker just yet because we've only gotten like a brief appearance. It looks like they're trying to mimic what they did with Heath Ledger. Like I feel like Jared Leto was trying to be too much like a more fictional take on Heath Ledger's Joker,
Yeah.
and I felt
It was
like
more like
the
him.
one that they were trying to do in the Batman, it was like I'm getting Heath Ledger vibes.
Yes. It's like yeah,
Yeah. At
like I
least do
think
like what Joaquin Phoenix kind of thing.
I mean I think you could make him like a mobster. Like that's what Jack Nicholson was. He was a mob guy, but you could just a guy who wants to cause trouble. This is a guy who's like chaos and found pleasure and laughs at people's pain and torment them. That's who the Joker should be. And yeah, he could be funny, but he gotta be scary. But he can't be all like like all scar up in his face. And Joaquin is like kind of like should have been like what could have been like Batman, the Joker that could be in the DC universe, because I don't want like a moral guy or someone who cannot die, but someone in the vein of Jack Nicholson and Mark Hamill from like the anime series and the Arkham games,
Wait,
Yeah, uh, uh but let's see. I'm trying to. Okay, so with Superman, because obviously that's a high priority of Gunn. What Superman villains should they use that are not General Zod or Lex Luthor? Because I feel like not just the DCEU, the Christopher Reeves universe has used them a lot. I think it's time we see somebody new in this upcoming Superman film.
Nuclear
Kate,
Man.
oh, nuclear.
Yeah.
um, Kaden, if you're still there,
Richard Pryor, bring back Richard Pryor. Is he alive? Is Richard Pryor still alive?
what Superman villains do you want to see that have yet to be on the big screen?
What was that villain I said like told mess about? Hold on.
Okay,
You
Kane,
guys
we'll
saw.
come back to you.
Mr.
Uh,
Mixerplex, Vitello,
Yes.
yeah,
Carousel,
Metallo's definitely one.
Toy Man,
He can be like a secondary villain, Toy Man.
Titano, some big old King Kong knockoff, um, Livewire, um,
Livewire.
Parasite and
Mongol.
yeah,
It's Mongol.
Ultra
I think
Humanite.
the Mongol.
that's okay. Ultra Humanite. I joke about that. I was kind of half serious, half joking around, but I think he's Superman's very first villain. He's from the Golden Age, from Sicer and Schuster's when they created Superman. He was pretty much Lex Luthor before Lex Luthor. He was a bald-headed mad scientist, who then eventually put his mind into the body of a albino gorilla who was strong enough to who could fight Superman. I feel like there's something
Bizarro.
that bizarro, yeah, but I think yeah, I think that's also a good because again, yeah, he's like Lex Luthor. Yeah, we're gonna get Lex Luthor. I feel like for Lex Luthor, I think you should for Lex Luthor, yeah, he should be around. You can have LexCorp, but you cannot make it obvious how evil he is. I feel like
Yeah.
you could establish it for maybe he eventually becomes evil, like he has a hair, and eventually an accident happened, and he's losing it. He lost his hair. He plays Superman, and that's where his true side comes out. You know, because I
And
think you could do Lex Luthor nowadays. Like, yeah, he's a billionaire who could get ways of everything. That's happening in real life right now.
and this is what I meant before when I talked about how to handle Ra's al Ghul. Yeah, the more accurate version with like the Lazarus Pit and like the League of Assassins
Which
and like a
pretty
much
much
Oh,
better
the,
Talia.
and another
the
thing that I want from DC, like old starting with DC especially, like can we not have a world-ending threat for the first Superman or DC or Batman
yeah
movie?
yeah.
Like
Welcome,
Something that's
Bianca.
very
be it
self-contained.
very localized. Like
Hello.
hello Bianca.
Hey,
I think Max should be the
Uh,
villain in this new Superman film.
Did you, did you see the thumbnail for Eddie's stream today? By the way,
Yeah, I did.
oh yeah
yeah,
yeah.
put that on a
You're,
T-shirt. Max holding the pitchfork.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, you saw what Isaac posts on Twitter. Come
Oh
on,
my God, I ain't put. I listen,
woo,
listen. I posted on there not because I'm not because of obvious reasons, but like, good lord.
whoa.
Um, but Bianca, since you just came on, what are some things you would like to see in this new DCU? And Daniel Martin, be nice. We all enjoy having Bianca here. I know.
Who doesn't like Bianca?
I don't
Oh, you were joking.
enjoy me
I was
being
like, who
here.
doesn't like Bianca?
Everybody, ever since my Man of Steel comments.
I
Oh,
hear worse. I hear worse. Come on.
Oh my, yeah,
yeah.
we've heard worse. But what would
Just
you like to see in this new DC universe? Like, what is something you want to see that they failed to do in the DCEU, or you want to see more of, or who haven't you seen yet that you want to see?
Right, so I want my Vixen movie. I want more like a B, C, D list characters too. I want more because we had so much animation projects back then, and then over the years they just started getting less and less. I want more of that. If they're going to do 3D, I want more polish onto the 3D CGI. Like you can do it good, and it's a lot cheaper than 2D, so I don't mind that. Just make it, good and good written too, Another thing I would want is just some good consistency. I don't want to have a Wonder Woman who's never rode the wind or whatever before, only for her to do that in her own movie that was like years before stuff that happened in the future, and she can't do that stuff. And I'm like, okay. Like I need somebody on that to make it consistent, okay? Especially with powers and power levels and all that stuff. I need more villains. Somebody wrote Mongol. Mongol is severely underrated. I need more
Yes.
Mongol.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would love to see Brainiac as well, although I feel like they shouldn't rush to Brainiac as well.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
there's certain villains like you gotta be more cautious about like going
Yeah.
into right away.
Yeah, I think Brainiac you have to build up to. Zod, you still have to build up to that.
Like I didn't see the second like how many movies did Christopher Reeves have? Like 4?
4.
For
4?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like in the second movie, which I haven't seen yet, that's when Zod shows up, but they reference they showed him in the first movie, and I'm like, okay, so if he pops up in the second movie, I should be prepared for that. Or if he
Well,
pops up later into the movies, I should be
You should watch the
prepared for
fourth
that
one. It's the
too.
best of the whole film. The
You
whole
no.
series.
Oh
lie.
my
I
goodness.
know everybody says to
Hey,
avoid that one.
hey, if Nuclear Man appears in this DCU, I don't know what they were smoking.
Yeah.
No, I give them props for that because they'll make him a good character. He's Tom
Imagine if in the Flash, Nuclear Man makes an appearance.
Oh yeah. But
Billion
the,
dollar film.
Oh.
the thing about Zod, so Zod in the first Superman movie and the second, so um, the Richard Donner, he directed both Superman and Superman 2, but halfway through Superman 2, he was fired and he was replaced by, oh, I forgot his name, who directed The Beatles' Hard Day's Night.
Houdini.
No, not Houdini.
Ah,
Um,
dang.
he
Superman 3.
yeah,
Or-
he came in and reshot the entire movie, make it more fun and comical than Richard Donner, but still still keep General Zod and the Phantom Zone prisoners as the main villain. So that's why like both like Zod and the Phantom Zone prisoners were in both in Superman 2. So now you know.
Richard Lester. That's his
Richard
name.
Lester, yeah, and then he went to direct, Superman 3, which was that was like his comedic, that was his tone pretty much, but it become more comical.
Yeah, because like
She
wasn't there
woman
an
who
issue
did
with like
Superman
Superman
4.
2? Because like there's the Richard Donner cut, and then
Yeah,
there's
which
the
I have,
one that Richard Lester worked
which I
on.
gotta say, I prefer the Lester theatrical version than the Donner cut.
I mean, I like both
Oh.
versions.
It's just
I'm kind of torn on which one I prefer though.
I prefer like the Donner cut was fine. I think the problem was it was, I mean, yeah, because Lester pretty much reshot the entire movie and add stuff there, and it changed the tone a tad. But there was a seriousness in Lester's version, then also in the Donner's cut. So, hold on, let me go show. I'm gonna look for the DVD. I have it. I'm gonna show it.
Can we get Ryan Johnson to direct a DC film?
Oh no, oh my
Yes.
goodness. So are you asking for Geeks and Gamers and Still Nation to cross over?
Well, I mean, they've done it to themselves, so why not?
Oh my
Sam
goodness.
Raimi to direct a DC film.
That I would like to see. That he said he's had interest in directing a Batman movie.
Of course, it's Batman.
I mean, hey, he got Danny Elfman did the score of Batman, so there you go.
Yeah. Although Sideways
I think he would do
52,
good with a Spawn movie.
Spawn. Yes.
because this actually comes to a character that I would love to see. So Sideways 52 says I wanted to see some street level DC characters have projects. Green Arrow, I would love to have a project.
Vibe.
I know who you're talking about. Vibe.
Like I
You
would
like
love
it.
to
There we
see-
go. Look,
Okay, I see it.
the Donner cut.
I remember when those things were selling at Walmart around the time Superman Returns came out. I was like 9, 10
Yeah,
years old.
that's what I got at Walmart. Also, I also found this.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Oh, I can't see the left one, but the Batman versus Dracula one is amazing.
No, this is the Superman Batman movie.
Oh, it
I'm not.
was
See,
series
this
and
is
then
the
turned
one.
into a theatrical or
Yeah,
not a
well,
theatrical DVD.
I
Li-
remember. Yeah, I remember seeing this on T. I was like, the hype was surreal for seeing Superman, Batman. It's the Kevin Conroy and yeah, who voices
Tim Daly.
Tim Daly, the Tim
Yeah,
Daly
Tim Daly.
Superman together in the Bruce
It
Tim
was
animated.
amazing.
Oh, it was so good. Oh,
I
and
just I just watched I just finished season 2, so now I'm on season 3 of the Superman series.
Yeah,
I mean,
actually,
my favorite part, the one that I got. I'm sorry, I gotta talk about this. Is when Joker and Lex Luthor. So it's Joker and Lex Luthor teaming up to fight Superman and Batman, and it's like when Joker and Luthor are talking while Mercy and Harley Quinn were fighting each other in the background.
Yeah. I was like, "Wait, how can Mercy even go head to head?" And then my friend was like, "Well, technically, she's like an Amazon." And I'm like, "What?
Yes,
Are you talking about like Wonder Woman Amazon?" They're like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "That
she's
makes so much sense."
she's like a train. She's like a train. I don't want to say train assassin, but a train fighter. And they're just like fighting the back, and then afterwards, and then afterwards, like you see Harley just messed up, and the Joker's like, "How you doing, Slugger? Hey, okay, Mister J," and she fell down. Oh, it's so good. Yeah, I mean, this is like pretty much how I wanted BVS to be, and it wasn't.
yeah. Oh,
It's
by the
really
way, like, so this is the only thing I'm gonna be showing right now because I made a challenge that if I get to 500 subscribers before 2023 ends, I'll show my DVD collection. But this is what I bought at Walmart just recently. So let me just. So I got the entire Justice League collection.
oh.
Oh, dude, I want a live action version of that famous intro.
No,
Yeah,
yes.
Okay, which one? Just
and
just Unlimited intro.
oh, both.
The
It's
Just
both.
Tim one.
I
It's
prefer
both.
Just Unlimited.
So,
The dun, dun, and the guitar.
I feel like it'd
so
be
this
kind
has
of
both of
cool
them on
if you
there.
can like do the first theme song opening and then as you're adding more characters, you add them to the intro.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, if you can find it at a Walmart, I highly recommend you buy it because it's coming off HBO Max January 31st. That's why I
Fun
bought it.
favorite.
Yeah, but it's gonna be on Amazon.
Yo, buy it on Amazon. Buy it
No, no,
at
no.
Walmart.
Amazon Prime is gonna be streaming the entire episode. We
I
streaming
don't
it.
stream
My
Amazon
dad
Prime.
doesn't have Amazon Prime.
Listen. I did Amazon Prime for a free trial to watch
Me too.
Rings of Power. I gave up on Rings of Power 2.5 episodes in.
I
I
have
gave up it in the middle of the third episode.
I bought the annual. I got it till next the June next year. I got the annual.
Oh,
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so but I still haven't got around seeing The Boys season 3 and Invisible.
Invincible's awesome.
Yeah, I keep seeing the clip when who's the guy? Oma, how you say his name?
Omni
Omni
Man.
Man.
Ani Man, when he killed those like the other superheroes, like his Justice League. Whoa! It is bloody.
I will say I want to see the Green Lantern finally happen because
Which
2011 Green
one?
Lantern.
Oh.
No, just like any Green Lantern in general. Like because obviously the 2011 film screwed everything up.
Yeah.
Then they were teased in the DCEU. They were teased in Zack Snyder's Justice League, but they never came into fruition. The film made by that was supposed to be made by Jeff Johns, who was another problem with some of the things that happened with the DCEU, was supposed to come out in 2020. We're almost done with 2022. Then it was going to be made into a show. We have heard little to nothing with that show. And with James Gunn being so good at doing the cosmic side of comic book stuff, I think now's the time to get Green Lantern in this upcoming slate. Does anyone
Wait,
agree, disagree?
I
Yes.
agree, man. It's
yeah.
been way too long. Too long.
Isn't Green Lantern Jeff Johns' specialty since that's what he's
Yeah,
mostly known for writing?
I mean, that's how I got
yeah.
to comics. My first comics was the Judge John's Green Lantern run. It was my first was Rebirth when they brought back when Hell came back. Uh, that was great, and yeah, I was looking forward for the Ryan Reynolds movie, and yeah, I
What
was
if
actually I was actually the defender of the movie, and then as years go by, I was like, yeah, it's a piece of shit. I mean, piece of
what if just to fuck with people? What if this Green Lantern is not Hal Jordan, nor John Stewart, it's Daffy Duck.
Oh my goodness.
oh, Doug Rogers.
Oh,
Okay, that's nice.
Doug Dodgers.
Okay, here's the
Doug
thing. Okay,
Dodgers.
Yes, he's been sidelined longer than Superman. That's right, Green
yeah.
Lantern. And the
Well,
crazy thing is, the 2011 film, there was rumors that was going to kickstart the DC universe or DCEU.
oh well, I
Imagine
heard,
if that was the first film of the DCEU or whatever DC universe they were trying to make at that time.
yeah, there was going to be like their Iron Man. If I remember, the original script was that the ring
Stargirl.
at after Adam Sir looks when the ring after Adam Sir is dying, and his ring's looking for the successor. It was going to pass by Metropolis and Clark Kent, and then John Stewart until it went to Hal. And then yeah, John Stewart was supposed to be in the Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern movie. They I think he was in a scene where they're in the bar when Hal was like fighting with these military Marine guys, and and the black guy was supposed to be John Stewart.
The black guy.
But it looks he looks
Oh
like
my
him.
goodness.
But yeah, I think I remember. There's another thing. Remember when how Arrow, which is called Arrow, a Green Arrow, the Green Arrow series was called Arrow, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a friend who'd say that who actually who has some friends in the film industry. They says that reason why they dropped the green in Green Arrow was because the flop of Green Lantern. So they didn't want green to be
What?
associated. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I guess
And
green
right.
is a toxic color for DC then.
Yeah.
Oh
And then
my
remember
goodness.
remember also Green Hornet came out the same year with Green Lantern. That also bombed.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Good.
when you think about it,
I
Disney
needed
always
to be
uses green or
reminded that
purple
that
for evil
film
colors.
exists. I
Actually,
needed to be reminded.
I did like the Seth Rogen Green. It was a Seth Rogen movie. So I just spent like a
Imagine,
masterpiece.
imagine the Black Adam flops. They won't call him Black Adam. They just call him Adam.
Oh my goodness.
They
But
were trying. They
10th
were trying.
Adam.
They tried to. Yeah. They tried to.
No,
That was the one
the
thing.
new thing that they're gonna do for reboots and retoolings, they're gonna add the word "the" to every title. So when they
The
reboot Black
Batman.
Adam, it's gonna be the Black Adam.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, you have the Suicide Squad, you have the Batman.
The
So
Superman.
Or
you're
you can
gonna
call him
go
the Man in Black, just like in the movie. Tell him the
Or
Man in
Wonder
like
Black.
the Woman.
the Wonder Woman, like that's gonna be the new thing. Oh
Or
yeah, so
just call him, Wonder Woman. I don't know, Diana.
oh my, but
Ever called one? I remember. Yeah.
any other thoughts about Green Lantern? Anyone, Caden? Any thoughts about how Green Lantern should be handled? Should that be one of the first things in the DCU
Oh yeah.
slate?
Oh yeah.
See,
But like, who should it be? Should it be Hal Jordan, John Stewart?
It should be Hal Jordan.
Cal Rayner.
I
Alan
think
Scott.
since we're starting off with a young Superman, I think it should start off with Hal. Even if it's Hal like 3 or 4 years in, and John Stewart comes in like the second movie or the second appearance of Hal, like, but start off with Hal, you know. But still, like,
There.
Like you can
but I
have
don't
like
think you need to say the. Honestly, you might as well do the origin again of how Hal got the ring. Like, have him explain how he got the ring, or
Yeah.
something to like someone. You
I
don't have
know.
to like make it the whole movie, but just like explain it.
I think you can do it in the first 15 minutes. I mean, it's pretty simple. It's like the alien comes in, he's bullying, bullying, wounded, and his ring, yeah, ring is like, I picked that guy, and there you go. That sounds Jordan. I think it'd be fine if if like Clark has been on Earth around time, and by the time he's Superman, Hal is already in or has been in or for 2 years, trained to be the Green Lantern. So at the end, Hal comes back, comes to Earth, and he sees Superman. Say, who the heck are you?" I said, "Who are you?" I was like, "Well," and I think that's gonna be the first two James Gunn new DC movie, Superman and Green Lantern.
I hope Green Lantern is definitely one of those first ones, and I do want one. So well, I've seen Teen Titans mentioned a couple times in the chat, but before I do that, Sideways
Teen
52 actually
Titans.
has a good question. Um, Flash, DCU, Wally West or Barry Allen?
Ugh.
At least
Barry.
Wally West because
Barry.
I mean, the
well,
thing is with Wally again. I think if we were starting like a 10-year-old like Justice League, yeah, you can do Wally West, but we're not. So you should start off with Barry because we
Yeah,
haven't had a Barry Allen
We just need a
on.
good Barry Allen.
Yeah, like that's the thing. Like we haven't
Yeah.
had a real good Barry Allen on the big screen.
Ezra.
Greg Austin shouldn't be the only good Barry Allen that we have.
I mean, yeah, pretty much like that's how I'm not too into Ezra's Flash, not because of what they've done, but because he's acting more like Wally than Barry. You know?
They always make them act like Wally. It's the most
Yeah,
irritating thing ever.
I get it because okay, it's like a lot of people read like that's their Flash, Wally. Like Barry died in the middle of the '80s, and in post crisis has been Wally as the Flash since until recently he keeping it to life. I have a friend who is who's older than me, who's is like in his 40s, who've been reading comics way before me. His favorite Flash is Wally. He preferred Wally West, and he read the Crisis of Infinite Earth when Barry died, saving the entire multiverse. So maybe I mean you could do like in I mean you could do like in the Justice League Unlimited where Wally is the Flash and there's never been Barry Allen, but I think that's not do justice for really to me what is my favorite Flash, which is Wally Barry Allen.
Imagine they do get Grant Gustin and they come back as Barry on the big screen.
No,
That would be funny. That
Oh
would be
my
hilarious.
goodness, that would definitely be funny. But I will say I understand because also the other thing about Wally West is so they talk about how Justice League, the DCAU, is like the blueprint. A lot of people like around my age grew up with Wally West as their Flash because we were introduced to that in the animated show. But at the same time, we know Barry Allen also came first. So like obviously like Barry should come first, and then maybe down the road if this whole thing's working out very well, but it's time to pass the torch, then maybe like you do two different trilogies. You do a Barry Allen trilogy and maybe a Wally West trilogy down the road. If this thing works, we got to make sure this thing works well, so it can continue.
yeah. Although it made me think of this. So yes, yeah, about the Flash and Green Lantern. What are they gonna do with actually the real original Flash and Green Lantern, Alan Scott and Nick Garrett? How they and I mean they set up the Justice Society of America in Black Adam, but that's not gonna get picked up. That's not going to be followed through in
It's not.
nah because because what happened with Black Adam. So
Well,
How
no,
they
you can just delete Black Adam from the equation. Since Amanda Waller was talking to the GSA, I think that can give them pretty good leeway to add them into his universe, especially
shoot?
since he added his wife and Amanda Waller's daughter from the Suicide Squad as well.
I think of what they could do with how they gonna do Alan Scott and Jim
Magic.
Garrett. Yeah, I know, but it's like how they could like okay, so how they say, well, how is the first Green Lantern, but not technically because there was a Green Lantern in the 50s. Same thing with the Flash. There was a Flash in the 40s.
And I do want to address this by Ferris. Yeah, Ferris. I grew up in like the late '90s, early 2000s. I was like a little kid in the late '90s, early 2000s. So I
What?
did
How
grow
old
up
are
with
you?
26.
Oh, I'm 27.
Yeah.
Yay, we're a year apart.
Hey George, I'm about to dip out. I'm about to dip
Okay,
out.
Blue Jay.
Yeah,
Thanks for
you
coming
have
on,
a good
Blue
night.
Jay.
Yeah,
Bye
everybody.
bye.
Yeah,
Oh,
take care,
Peace.
man.
bye.
Thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah,
And you know you're
it's
always
just
welcome on here.
You're not
yeah.
welcome.
I just
I'm
love
just
to make
kidding.
just to be funny. I love to troll.
No, but you also contribute. So thank you
Oh
for
yeah,
always
yeah,
coming
hell
on.
yeah. All right, hey, take care, George, and everybody. Have a good
Take
stream.
care.
You
Yeah.
too. What?
All right. So, but yeah, no, like so like a lot of people around like my age, like older, maybe a couple years younger, like we grew up with like John Stewart and like Wally West. So
Yeah. I didn't know what I was watching was Wally West until I was watching a
Yeah,
random clips and it was Wally it was the Flash saying, he was the original, but his name was also Wally West. I'm like, "Wait a minute. Barry Allen was the original. Wait a minute. Why'd they
I
change
actually
it?"
know. Yeah, no, my first was well, actually I did seeing the Super Friends
Ooh.
cartoon. And they had the Flash as Barry, but they never even referred to him as Barry Allen, if I remember correctly. It was just he's the Flash. But it was like in the anime series, with Michael Rosenbaum voicing Wally West Flash. I never knew his name until that one episode where he ran super fast and he almost evaporates. If you
Oh,
remember,
I remember that. Oh, that was so
and all the
sad.
Justice League member was like they created a chain to pull him out
oh yeah,
back
yeah,
to.
yeah, I remember that.
And I think
Michael
it was John.
Rosenbaum was amazing.
Yeah,
He also
yeah,
did
and it
Lex
was
Luthor and Brainiac. What the heck?
right, and it was John Stewart that was going Wally no, and he was like grabbing him before he almost died. That's when it's like, oh, his name is Wally. That was the first time I heard that name in that episode. Um, yeah.
Was
Yeah, but
that
I
before or after everybody's secret identity was like outed?
oh wow.
Oh because the Batman it's like where they're on the run saying, hey, and the Flash like, hey, it's cool, but I'm not gonna give you all my area.
Oh
Say,
yeah,
go,
no,
okay,
when the Thanagarian invasion happened.
yeah, he's
Oh, that's
like,
what it
and then,
was.
yeah, Batman was like, Wally West, Clark Kent. He took his mask, Bruce Wayne. And
My
he's
name
like,
is
oh,
Jeff.
yeah,
Yeah, everyone's got their own introduction. Like for Sideways 52, he saw Wally West on Young Justice, and he saw Barry Allen on CW Flash. Everyone's got their own unique introduction to these versions of these characters.
yeah,
And this is going to be the next group I would love to see in the DCU. Teen Titans. Like I grew up on the 2003 Teen Titans show, and that's something that I would love to see happen in the DC universe, the Teen Titans. And I think it's something that I think Gunn would definitely do a good job writing. Does anyone agree or disagree?
yeah. I think
Shoot, what did you say? Can you repeat that?
Teen Titans, should that be a priority in the DCU? And should James
Ooh.
Gunn write?
You know what? Let's take a break from the Justice League. Let's do a Teen Titans. Let's do it.
I mean, Teen Titans is a popular enough brand, I think.
Add Blue Beetle. No, wait, they're doing College Blue Beetle. That wouldn't work.
And that's a team that Cyborg should be on, in my
Yes,
opinion.
yes. My
please.
goodness.
Caden, Teen Titans, do you think that should be a priority in the DCU?
I think it should be down the line. Yeah, definitely.
You don't sound very enthusiastic.
I mean, the Teen Titans. I think, like, if you are, I mean, the Titan show has. I mean, there's been a low bar for Nightwing. There's been a low bar for Titans in general, like for live action wise.
At
Um,
least the last season was good because they actually got a comic book writer who knows what he's doing to write the freaking season. Bless you, Brian.
You talk about Titans the series.
Yes. Yeah.
I I, I
I haven't watched this
Well,
new season because
I
I'm
would love
afraid
to see
that
Booster Gold.
part two is gonna
oh
completely
hell yeah,
ruin it.
Booster Gold. That was
Um,
okay. Okay,
Oh
just
yeah,
League
but hold
Unlimited.
on, Kaden, you were talking about
but yeah, I
Teen
think
Titans.
Teen Titans Young Justice, a young team of young heroes should definitely happen, and like fate like chapter two of DC.
Don't call us sidekicks.
Yes, I
Which I
think.
would love to see the Bat family also appear in this DCU
Yeah, that
if you're
too.
gonna do Teen
Like Bat
I
Titans.
Family, like all like you need this DCU needs to go all out with DC.
yeah.
Um, and I definitely think, like, even though they said it's 10 years, honestly, I think it might be like 15, 20 years, honestly. Like, to be completely
As
honest.
soon as they get the ball rolling, their first movie can come in less than 5 years.
I think their first movie is going to come out in
And
the latest 2025.
yeah, I can see that.
I think they
I will.
want. I think they want a movie to come out in 2024. Um, like start production this next upcoming year, and start marketing it. You know,
No more delays, for
A
goodness
DC
yes,
sake.
movie in 2024. Isn't that going to be the Joker sequel in
yeah,
2024?
but I
Yeah,
think they would want a DCU movie, like
yeah.
part like
Uh,
in part of their
Like
new
at
plan.
least at the end of the year, like by the end of the
Yeah,
year.
I don't know. I mean, they got cast. They got start production next, like pretty much in the summer.
Captain America 4 doesn't start production until June and comes out in 2024.
Yeah,
So
but
same
I
thing
mean
with
that's
Blade.
Marvel. They're just like they can assemble, and they but this is like a reboot. They need to really take their time. To me,
No, I think I even though I like they can take their time, but at the same time they don't need to take their time. You know, they need to. They don't need. They can't rush, but they also can't take their time. They have
Yeah,
to have
no,
the like
we
you
talked
at like
about this
I
on
said,
Eddie's stream.
the latest you have to have a first movie of your new universe to be out is by 2025, like at the
right.
latest.
Because DC fans, like we said on Eddie's stream, and we said
Yeah,
earlier, DC fans
because
are getting impatient.
Joker 2 won't hold off people until the next DC movie.
I think the
Because
Batman
Joker
might
2 is
come in
Uh,
2025 too, right? The sequel to the
that
Batman.
that that might be the earliest it comes out.
yeah. Again, I think like yeah, you have like the Penguin and probably another DC show, but other than that, like even a DC show, like a DCU show can hold off people like until a movie. Like if their first product of project is a show on HBO Max or whatever the new service will be called. Like, go ahead.
But um, but yeah, no, I was because one of the things that annoyed me in the DCEU was the Robin thing and Batman versus Superman. So you see like Dead Robin costume, and when it first came out, you had no idea who it was. Everyone thought it was Jason Todd. So no, a lot of people. One of the things I would have loved to have seen with a Ben Affleck Batman film is, oh, let's do Under the Red Hood,
Oh
and
yeah.
uh, and that never happened. And then Zack Snyder did probably said what, in my opinion, was my least favorite decision that he made and would have made had they continued the Snyderverse, which was they made Dick Grayson the Dead Robin.
Those
So I'm
punks.
hoping that
Was like really confirmed? He actually said that.
oh yeah, he said that like the Dead Robin in the DCEU was Dick Grayson. I think it was like 2018 he said this.
Yeah, he said it was
Yeah, he
Dick
said it.
Grayson. He could,
Wow.
and
And
Okay,
he
that
but
said,
annoyed a lot of people. Like even some Snyder fans
I
disagreed
mean,
with
the
that
thing was, is
decision.
also, I mean, like, what's crazy is that, like, you had Snyder say that, and then the crazy thing is that in the Suicide Squad movie in 2016, not the James Gunn one. They said that Harley Quinn was the one that killed him. But the thing is that Harley Quinn like just became Harley like the year prior to that movie,
Yeah.
Oh,
like 2 years prior to the movie. So
oh
and
yeah.
that the events of Suicide Squad 2016 was a year after BVS.
I'm telling you, the consistency, man, the
Yeah, it was
consistency.
terrible.
It's just
And Daniel Martin to address this about Matt Reeves. I mean, War for
he
the
should.
Planet of the Apes came out 3 years after Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, so I would say a 3 year.
Yeah, Dylan Clark, who on the red carpet said that 2027 is the latest to get the new movie, and 2024 was the earliest. So it's probably 2025.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair. So I agree with you here because, like Jason Todd, like I feel like that was not just a missed opportunity because I would have loved to have seen an Under the Red Hood film, but like for it to be Dick Grayson, like that also killed some potential in the DCEU. Like they wanted to do because remember they wanted to do a Nightwing film. Does anyone remember that?
Yeah,
Yes,
with
by
Yeah,
Adam McKay.
Chris McKay.
Or yeah,
Yeah.
Chris McKay, not
Yeah.
Adam.
So how are you
He
gonna do a
liked my
Nightwing film?
tweets. I tweeted something a few weeks ago. It was like, oh, James Gunn is like looking for like suggestions or whatever, and I'm like, shoot, let me write mine. And I'm like, okay, I want that Nightwing film by Chris McKay, and I tagged him and everything, and he liked my posts. But people have been asking him, they're like, hey, so like, are you no longer doing the movie? And he said, well, I haven't been told I'm no longer doing the movie. And I'm like, oh.
Oh.
Oh my goodness. You know, it reminds me of the time like James Gunn answered my question on the live action Scooby Doo movie. I asked him if Scrappy was always intended to be the villain or was it someone else, and he said he was always meant to be the villain.
Dang, you do my
I'm
boy
gonna
Scrappy like
yeah, I'm
that.
gonna find that tweet. But yeah, no,
The
that was
Freeman.
like so exciting. This was before he became the DC film president.
Oh yeah. Oh
Because
yes.
I
James
grew up
Gunn
on those.
liked a couple of my posts defending him.
hmm
Like
I
that
love Scrappy Doo.
that one. There's this one post that
I
people
never get a
find.
hate. I never get a hate for Scrappy. Well, he says,
He wanted to be a hero. He was a kid or something. Was he a kid? I don't really
No,
know.
he was a dog with a disorder.
What?
That
No, like Scooby Doo is his uncle.
yeah, but I think in James Gunn's universe, Scrappy was Scooby's uncle.
What?
no,
Something
wait,
like
hold
that.
on.
I'm sure someone will find it.
Oh
So
my
confused.
goodness.
Because they've
Check.
addressed him in the first movie as an actual puppy still. So I was just like, isn't he still like a kid? And he says puppy power. Puppy power.
No, right here. Scrappy is Scooby Doo is Scrappy's uncle.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
That's
always
why I
been
always
like
found
that.
it so confusing that like he became so evil and all that. But I mean, those movies are like my childhoods, and like
Same.
as wacky as they are, I can't help but love to rewatch them every once in a while.
The electric slide. Pew, pew, pew. Now back it up. Now
Oh
back
my,
it up.
that cast was actually perfect for that movie. I'm not
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
lie.
Oh
Like
yeah,
Matt,
Matthew Litter as Shaggy, fantastic.
Oh, amazing. I
yeah,
almost wanted to eat the food they were eating.
He's been like what 10 years voicing Shaggy. He's the new Shaggy.
yeah.
Taking
He
over
took
Casey
over for
Kasem.
took over for Casey Kasem when Casey Kasem retired back in 2009.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he died.
Okay, I'm trying to find the tweet because this was pretty cool when he replied back to me. I didn't think he would actually like reply back to me.
James Gunn never replied back to me.
Oh
I
my
wanted
goodness.
a
By the way,
can
I am not.
adore whatever.
I will agree that Velma looks terrible.
No, I thought she looked great.
No,
I, I, I'm
the Velma animation, the Velma cartoon is coming to the.
Oh gosh, I don't even want to
Oh,
think about that.
Oh, that
and
what you?
but is it worse animation than Be Cool Scooby Doo?
yeah, he was
Yes,
perfect.
because if Velma is adult animation, Scooby Doo is not in it.
That's so stupid.
Oh, I thought you meant the
Right.
animation style.
The animation looks. I mean, the animation looks a bit like the Harley Quinn anime series. So
I
it's
think it looks better
nothing.
than the Be Cool Scooby Doo animation. Though I did enjoy Be Cool Scooby Doo, even though it was getting massive hate. I was like one of the ones that actually liked it.
I haven't seen it. I didn't see it because I was like I'm kind of done
Don't
with.
watch it.
Yeah, but I mean, the one that tops. I mean, everybody agree the best iteration of Scooby Doo is Mystery Inc.
A pup
If you
named
see
Scooby
that,
Doo.
So this was
probably
the tweet. So this was the tweet I sent to James Gunn back in September. It was like some kind of post about Scooby Doo. So like I basically told them they were part of my childhood. I appreciate these movies a lot more as an adult because obviously the adult humor jokes. But to be fair, looking back at it, this was compared to most live action cartoon adaptations. This
Oh,
was
have you
probably one of
read
the
the
more accurate ones.
drafts? Like his like before the studio cut some jokes out. Like
Oh
there was
wow!
like Jackie was gonna like actually smoke weed. Uh,
Every day.
Freddy was gonna come out as gay.
oh what?
What?
Go-
Yeah, there was a
I,
whole
I thought
like
I thought Velma was gonna be the one
that
that.
too. The,
Okay.
Velma like well no, Velma was gonna be like bi or something.
Oh okay.
Yeah.
That Daphne will
Yeah.
be Daphne.
So I asked the question like, was Scrappy always meant to be the bad guy in the first film, or there are other ideas to approach the real mastermind Spooky Island? And he got back to me saying he was always the bad guy, which
Yeah,
I thought was pretty cool at the time because even though
I
this
mean
was
that was a
before
cool
he,
reveal.
but yeah, no, like that was really cool that he answered that question, like got back to me about that because I was really curious.
I mean, the beginning was. I mean, the beginning where they did like the cold opening was like straight out of the cartoon, like along with like the the celebrity cameo, Pam Anderson.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
I
Yeah, that was.
I
Yeah.
remember like here's the thing when I was a kid, I didn't know who Pamela Anderson was. Now
Oh,
as
Oh,
who's
an
that?
adult, now that I know, it's
oh yes.
I,
Oh,
I,
I
I meant,
know.
what's
I
the
was there.
context?
oh my
This is a joke
goodness.
I'm not getting.
Yeah,
But
you don't know
yeah,
who Pamela Anderson is?
I'm not good with actors' names.
Oh my god.
go go. Yeah. You never
What?
see
Oh my.
you never see the one of the best comic book movies of all time, Barbed Wire.
No,
It's the best comic book movie of all time.
never heard of it.
So basically, Pamela Anderson is a Playboy model. So like, she was
Wonderful.
in Scooby Doo. She was in the live action Scooby Doo film.
Wait! Don't forget
Cool.
Baywatch. Don't forget
Baywatch,
Baywatch.
yeah, Baywatch. But
That
like,
was my introduction to her. That was like that's where like I became a man.
I didn't really know that's who she was. I also didn't know that the real guy in charge of Spooky Island was Mr. Bean as well. I saw Mr.
Yeah,
Bean after Scooby Doo came out.
I'm about older. I know
What?
all these
Really?
things.
Who's
Yeah.
Mr. Bean?
Yeah, that's
Like the
Mr.
joke
Bean.
where
Rowan, like whatever his last name
What
is. Like,
the heck? Oh no, I'm now remembering it. Oh,
yeah,
that's weird.
like yeah, I'm a lot older than you, so I get the jokes. Like Mary Jane, where he's like, I love that name. I said, of course you do.
but like, I remember like, cause like I had a movie club back in middle school, and that's where we watched Mr. Bean the first time. Like we watched Mr. Bean's Holiday, the one where Willem Dafoe is like the snotty director in that film. For anyone who saw Mr. Bean's Holiday, like yeah, that was like my introduction to Mr. Bean. I was like, this movie's so hilarious.
Yeah,
I didn't know that was the same guy on Spooky Island.
he's also voices Zazu in The Lion King.
Oh wow, I didn't realize that either.
Yeah, yeah, he has a lot of range. He was also there was this Doctor Who
Oh boy.
special. They actually made that as a series with Sebastian Stans and Lily James as as Tommy Lee and Pamela. Yeah.
But yeah, no, that like the things that I didn't realize when I first that you realize when you're older with the live action Scooby Doo film, and I remember we actually did a watch party, me, Max, and CJH on CJH's channel, and like I didn't know, I don't think Max didn't know how to feel about that movie.
I
Wait,
understand. Yeah.
what's Chronic 2001 lyrics? I don't get it.
Well, I'm confused by that one as well.
Wait, the Dr. Dre Chronic 2000, the Dr. Dre album.
I don't listen to
Do you,
that.
yeah, I think you accidentally quote Dr. Dre. Apparently,
Oh, I did?
like I
Dang, what
I
did I
didn't pay attention.
say?
Just a heads up, we're probably gonna go for another 10 minutes before I wrap things up. But
I know.
yeah,
St.
but
George.
But yeah, Ferris said Ela Fisher and Amy Adams look alike. I mean, they're
Oh
around the
yeah.
same. They're like redhead actresses that are around the same age that are still attractive.
Right.
What?
So like,
We're getting
but
so off topic. I thought we were talking about DC.
yeah,
We're
no,
talking
we
about
talked.
Scooby.
Hey, listen. You know what? We stayed on topic for most of the stream though, like talking about DC. Like
I
compared
think we
to
did
some other
great.
streams that like get off topic really easily. like like we stayed on topic for most of the stream, that I'll say. um but I will say this though, for the people who are hoping this whole thing fails, that think this thing's gonna fail, and are also planning on boycotting the 2023 DC slate because they don't see what's the point. I feel like a boycott is basically telling DC, yeah, you guys don't care about the DCEU, that's why we're rebooting. Anyone agree, disagree?
I mean, here's the
Yeah,
thing. Let's say for sake of argument, let's say James Gunn Superman does it lose money. It makes Black Adam numbers, and Zaslav, who wants to make money, who I mean he scrap a finished Batgirl movie. Will probably like, well, that's it. This is like them recycling DC over again. I feel like, and I'm not gonna be. It's not like a big um pressure. I don't want to put pressure on James Gunn saying this, but I feel like if this doesn't work, I think this is it for DC movies.
Yeah.
To
well,
me,
that depends.
And
Like, just because there's like, if he ends up putting like a Superman movie and it ends up being like rather bad or just meh in general, like it's not going to destroy the DC. It's just going
I
to have them continue
I feel the
movies.
people. I'm saying like people optimistic of DC movies will be going away, and I wonder that will be the point where Zasla, who is willing to do
Turn
any
balls.
crazy, uh, do any craziest thing he could do to save money, could be like maybe sell the DC property.
Wouldn't
You
Justice
know,
League Unlimited give you a lot of money because it's the most beloved franchise
I'm talking about
ever?
I'm talking about I'm talking about the DC Comics property, the ownership of it. Like say, okay, put up for sale and let other studios happen. I don't want that because what happened if Disney would be like, let me take a look at that. Can you imagine Disney buying these Disney DC Comics? Or this is the DC movie property? No. Yeah, I love Disney, but no, I don't want them to take over, do their own
yeah,
version. Yeah, it's like no, you got Marvel, you're fine.
at the end of the day, I just want them to deliver good stuff. I'm still gonna see the 2023 movies because I want to see these characters one last time.
I just like
And
movies, so
yeah, and I like
I'm gonna
movies as
watch.
well. And look, I'm planning on doing a review series on this channel, like reviewing the DCE movies I haven't seen from Man of Steel to Wonder Woman 1984, to share what I did love and disliked about the DCEU. So I'm gonna call 2023 the last dance for
Ooh.
DCEU movies. And look, I always feel like the door is never officially shut on this universe. Like they can do Elseworld stuff with this stuff. Like I'm gonna try to remain optimistic for all things DC because I grew up on DC. I was a DC fan. Bless you.
Thank you.
So
Gracias.
And at the end of the day, I want this brand to succeed. I grew up watching DC animated. I've been a DC fan longer than
yeah,
I was a Marvel fan. When I was a kid, the only Marvel stuff I cared about before like the MCU was like X-Men and Spider-Man. Like I was more into Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, The Flash, even like Static
Prove it.
Shock. Like I grew up watching Static Shock. What?
What? Nothing.
Oh my goodness, but look, I'm hoping the best for this. Any final thoughts, Caden?
Kaden.
Thank you, Caden.
Until Caden comes
Your
back,
words are inspiring.
and until Caden comes back, Bianca, any final thoughts?
Just realized since there's no such thing as a Wonder Woman animated cartoon series, my dad has never seen it, and he was gonna watch it technically for the Justice League animated series that's now gonna be taken out of HBO Max, and I don't have Amazon Prime. Oh well. I'm optimistic and hyped. I'm super excited to see Blue Beetle and Shazam 2. I don't want to watch Amber Heard. I
Yeah,
also
I'm
didn't like the
not.
first Aquaman
Yeah, that's
movie anyway. I don't, not that it was bad. It wasn't a bad movie. It definitely deserved the billion. I was just bored. I'm just like, can we get to the
okay.
climax?
But speaking of that, so have you seen? I didn't see the whole trial with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, but when Walter Hamada took the stand, so like Amber Heard's lawyer was questioning Walter Hamada if like the accusation from Amber was why she nearly got fired from Aquaman 2, and Walter Hamada, that's where he admits that they was thinking of firing Amber Heard in Aquaman 2 because they believe the chemistry between Amber Heard and Jason Momoa, their chemistry was bad. And he admits that in while filming Aquaman, the first Aquaman, their chemistry wasn't working. And he admits that he took a stand and he admits that they did clever editing to make the chemistry work between Amber Heard and Jason Momoa.
Almost
Um,
fooled me.
so, Senior Nerd, what are your final thoughts? Because we're gonna be wrapping things up, and let's make it short and quick.
Okay, so I will see all the DC movies next year. It'll be a goodbye. Um, but I am looking for. I'm really looking for Superman the most from James Gunn because I love that character. He should have done right. And yes, Henry Cavill is not playing it, but there's plenty of actors I can see playing a young Clark Kent Superman. I'm cautiously optimistic, as I said. I don't want to feel like I said it could be that could be like pretty much a death nail for the DC movies in the general public if they once again they reboot it and it's still not working. Because right now, people it looks like people are getting fatigued with Marvel, and you need DC to get better to get people excited. Like you see a good DC movie, and you get excited for the next MCU movie. You know the whole high tide lift up both ships. You know whatever that phrase is. Um, so I'm yeah, so I'm really, and I know it's gonna be pretty much the DC movie we want. Look, no offense to Zack Snyder, but he wasn't his take wasn't what people wanted, And I think James Gunn is for. It's not like what he thinks should be. What should the DC movie should be? He'll be like what people want to see. You know, it's not like I'll go put my own spin. No, he's gonna be like, this is what people want to see when it comes to these characters, and I'm really looking forward for that.
Okay. Before I get my thoughts, Kaden, are you still there? I want to hear your closing thoughts.
Yeah.
All right,
Oh, he's alive.
Sorry. Um,
that's okay.
I think my final thoughts are, again, like, they're in a tough position, so you have to have patience at the same time. I understand like some of the impatience, but like, and it's gonna be challenging in the start because it's gonna be new, and fresh. So I just say let's wait and see.
All right,
Honestly,
and my closing thoughts are actually before I do that, see you, Ferris. Thanks for watching, Ferris. And hopefully I can, and in the future I'll try to get you on one of these panels as well. But yeah, have a happy new year, and thanks for watching and supporting this channel as always. And my thoughts are, at the end of the day, like I said, I'm a DC fan and I want this brand to succeed. And hopefully, with a new president of Warner Brothers and a new president of DC, we can avoid the mistakes of old and just give me some good movies. Just give me a good Superman movie. I know Henry Cavill's Superman was, people were mixed on it, but that was the first Superman movie I saw in theaters. Henry Cavill was the first Superman I saw on the big screen. So those are my thoughts. And do you guys have any want to tell everyone where they can find you guys at? Do you want me to share any links, like any channels or like Twitter?
yeah, you know what?
You can just put it in the private chat whatever you guys want me to send where they can find you guys at.
Oh,
I
I'm
know
on my phone. I
Bianca.
can't.
No, well, I know your channel, Bianca, so I'll put your channel in the link, my stuff in
Yay!
comics. I'll put your channel in the link for anyone that wants to.
No, I have not seen Wonder Woman Bloodlines yet.
But Senior Nerd Caden, if there's anywhere they can find you guys at, even if you guys don't have a channel, just put it in the private chat and I'll put it in before we go.
Oh, well, yeah, you can, if you want to follow me on Twitter, you could. Let me just get my link here.
Weapons.
Let's see. Hold on. Let me go here. Jesus. Go here. Fuck, hold on. Where is it? Go here. Why can't I? Oh, there it is. There you go. There you go. All right. Yeah, you can follow me right here on Twitter. There you go.
All
You
right.
can put out.
Thank you. Thank you guys. And obviously, and you guys can know where to find me. And I want to thank you guys for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe and like this video. And check out everyone else here. These are some of my good friends in the community. We stream together very often, not just on this channel, but on other people's channels. And go support everyone because everyone works hard in this community and they all do a great job. So I'm just going to put Senior Nerd's Twitter in the chat. And I want to thank you guys for coming on. It means a lot to have you guys on.
Oh, yeah, it's good.
Oh,
Good
you're
to-
welcome.
Yeah, good to talk. Yeah, good to talk about DC. Yeah. Yeah. To be like, oh my god, the sky is falling. Say, no, we're very optimistic.
But
We're chill.
But yeah, no, I do plan on doing another stream January 2nd. That's my last day off. And I'm planning on talking about upcoming 2023 movies. And yeah, I'll cover the few DC movies that are coming out, but also the other movies. Watch your audio, Senior Nerds. But yeah, we're gonna check out the other movies that are coming out in 2023. So if you guys want to come by and watch that or join us, please do so. I don't know what time yet on Monday. But yeah, thank you guys for watching and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys real soon. Enjoy your evening, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, and broadcast.